Guys, when you're at home, you typically have the gear you need around you. When you're in your vehicle, you don't necessarily have things. Out on the road is when you probably will need those things. And there have been a number of times where I've used certain items that I'm going to show you, and just because I just happen to be prepared. So this is an impromptu video. I'm just going to go through and just show you what I actually have in my vehicle. Now, one thing that I've carried for years is the Zulu tactical Moly panel that fits on your sunshade. This is a really cool system. I mean, they're elastic keepers. I can put a lot of stuff in here. The big thing too is I can keep all my documents, you know, whether it's my registration, my insurance information. I have my range card for my gun club, and I have it all just set right here, and I can get right to it. And it's right above my head. With that, I have a flashlight, a knife, pens. I have my phone cable in case I want to charge my phone. Of course, I have my cigar cutter, which is key. Also have one of the BCM gunfighter charging handles. I love these things. For a self-defense tool that's right here, I just have this little hook, and this is a great little tool that I can just pull out really quickly. And this is just for non-lethal, but if I just need to get to something quick, it's right there. One thing I also keep are napkins. You know, when you go to a restaurant, you get too many napkins. I don't want to throw them away, so I just take them, stuff them right here. I use these things all the time. And some bug spray. I also have a USB that I can charge my phone. Here in the center console, have a little Ruger LCP2 and a little sticky holster. One of the reasons why I carry this is there are times where, you know, I just need to be a lot more discreet. I may take my standard Glock 26 off my hip and just stick this in my pocket or in my waistband. Underneath, here I have a small little trauma kit and paracord. In my glove box, I typically keep the papers that I would need if I get pulled over. I keep them up in the visor. But here I have a little mini trauma kit. This is for your pocket. I usually keep this on me at the range, so I like to keep it handy at all times. And then I have the little Taurus PT-111 G2C. Just did a review on that. One thing I like about having a gun like this is it's inexpensive. I mean, they're $209, and I think it was on Gun Buyer. Got this, and if I happen to get broken into and I lose it, you know, I'm not heartbroken. So, and these are good little reliable pistols. Now, I always keep an emergency car kit and keep straps and, you know, different things for hazard, mainly for road stuff. Keep a few tools in here, and in one of these MTM ammo crates. I love these things. Typically keep this in the very back, but I just happen to have this behind the driver's seat. Guys, one thing too is to make sure that your spare tire is inflated. I have pulled off a spare tire that was flat before. It wasn't on my vehicle, but just make sure that this is, you know, ready to go. The great thing about this is with the Hummer, it's just on the back, so it makes it really easy. Now, if you're keeping gear in your vehicle, especially something they can look into, it's not necessarily in a trunk. You know, having tinted windows, especially in the back, is really important. Not only does it keep the vehicle cooler, especially in the summertime, but it makes it very difficult to see what's in here. And you don't want to advertise if you're carrying some pretty serious gear. Then here in the back, this is where things get serious. Now, one thing I always keep with me is a good pair of boots, just some extra boots. Now, I typically wear these type boots already. Many of you have seen my 1 year wear. I'm still wearing those boots, but I keep these in the back until I get ready to start using them. You know, guys, summertime, I wear flip-flops a lot. This is really perfect if I ever get into a bad situation, and of course, keeping an extra pair of socks. Of course, my go bag, and this is one of the direct action dust bags. It's a great EDC bag. It's nice, and it's actually pretty large for an EDC bag, but I keep water and keep all the essentials in here. One thing that's really important to me of this, and I've shown this before, but I have this little open clear panel, and I keep a map. Guys, the other day I was using my GPS. I kind of got off kilter, and the GPS sent me another direction. I was not getting signal. I used this map to get me home. Guys, a map is important even if you have your phone. Plus all the regular survival items and things that I use on a regular basis, extra batteries, you know, different type chargers, extra pins, things like that. I mean, it's just really important to have these things with you. I even have a water filtration, a knife, and so, you know, again, multi-tool. Of course, my Sootch gear patch from Sootch00.com. And I keep a lot of essentials, a trauma kit. Again, these are just critical. Head cover. I have a rain jacket down in here. I also have a fire kit. I have my little FLIR thermal. This is great. Bar, in case I get hungry, get me through. A saw, pry bar, and a little tack bivvy. In case I end up spending the night, I can wrap up in this. The great thing is about this vehicle is I can let the seat down, I can sleep back here. But guys, having a good quality bag is important, but just as important, don't rob from your bag. Get your bag set, leave it alone. If you need something that you have handy somewhere else, don't use the convenience factor. Keep your things together. I've been through that for years, and it's really important to keep a solid bag well stocked. Now, I've done some videos on my Minuteman bag. This is a Vism. It's very inexpensive. I think they're like 35, 40 bucks. They're not all that high quality, but I don't need it. I keep it in one place. This is where I keep my rifle, extra magazines for my pistol. A lot of times I'll keep a pistol in here. Sometimes I'll take an actual pistol, AR pistol, and use. It's a little easier to travel with a rifle for, you know, legal. And of course, guys, you need to check your local laws before you do any of this. This is serious stuff. But have everything ready. Have another trauma kit. I know I'm a little crazy, an extra flashlight, but this is my setup. One thing I will recommend is have a way to carry your magazines and your pistol. You don't want to be carrying them. Of course, if you have cargo pockets, you can sometimes slip them in there. But this gives you a great way to be able to put this and use it in the right configuration if you ever need it. Guys, do I think I'm going to need this? No, I think I'll never need this. But again, I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And if you want to be a weenie and have your head in the sand, guys, things can happen. Now, one thing I want to make a special note about. Guys, this isn't your vehicle. You're riding around. You're leaving it unattended at times. You know, these things can be stolen. And it's part of being prepared. Make sure that you have your serial numbers on your firearms, especially the ones you keep in your vehicle. In case they are stolen, you can report those quickly to law enforcement. Guys, if you have your firearms in a loose bag, they can cut that and get to it. But there are mesh nets that you can put over. There are chains that you can actually run, or cables, run through your firearms to secure them so they can't just get to them. Yeah, they could take bolt cutters or whatever. But making it as difficult as possible is just a smart move. In fact, to the point that after making this video, which was an impromptu video, I need to secure my bags. In fact, I'll have down in the description below the link how to secure your valuables in your vehicle. And you know, and obviously there are safes that you can get. And in fact, that's one of the things I'd like to put in here, something that I can place my rifle in. It's all locked down. Nobody can get to it, but if I need it, I can. The number one security is just keeping your vehicle locked, even when you're home. That means I'm locked. Now guys, I want to talk about having firearms for self-defense in your vehicle. One of the things about that is it keeps you from being vulnerable to whatever you may face. At least you have an option. Having your concealed carry permit is really good. Here in South Carolina, you don't have to have a concealed carry permit to keep a firearm loaded in your glove box or your console. And then wherever you are, if you're out on the road, you've got it. When you go into a hotel, you can take it with you into the hotel. You know, and then when you get home, you can bring it inside your house if you choose to do that. But one of the big things that hit me was I read through the South Carolina gun laws just recently. And I advise everyone to do that. Know your state. See what laws are going. And then if you're passing through different states, you know, look at those laws, check them, because you want to be in compliance. You want to be lawful. One thing, though, that I did read about that really kind of got me to thinking was in South Carolina, if you do something to escalate a problem, let's say you have a road rage incident, somebody pulls in front of you, they're acting crazy, and you pull up next to them, you start yelling at them. Guys, that is a big no-no if you're planning to use this firearm in a self-defense situation. You know, when you're carrying a gun, there's a huge responsibility. And because of that, you need to be even-tempered, you need to be cool-headed, and you need just to let things go. Escalating a problem can endanger you in court. You may end up having to use that firearm, but if you would have kept your mouth shut, the situation never would have happened in the first place. You know, making hand gestures, you know, doing whatever, showing you're aggravated. the best thing to do is just to let people go. And guys, to be honest with you, it's the best way to act anyway. You know, road rage is ridiculous when you really think about it. Getting upset with people because, you know, they're just driving and for whatever reason, you know, they're just being dumb. Believe me, I've been there. But after reading a lot of the law, I've realized that if I ever need to use my weapon for self-defense, I better have had a cool head and been cool as a cucumber before the situation started, because you don't want to be painted as someone that's hot-headed, that was looking for a confrontation, especially when they open up your vehicle and you have an AR-15 in the back. Guys, there have been a number of times where I've used the items in this bag for different situations. And, you know, it's always great to be able to get to a multi-tool, to get to duct tape, you know, your paracord, things like that that can just make repairs if you need them. But also, if you ever get yourself in a self-defense situation, you'll be good to go. Now, one thing I do want to talk about is the Minuteman Bag. I mean, it is over the top. It's a little overkill. And I don't ever see ever needing that. But here's the thing, guys. Over the past 5 years, we have seen things happening in this country that have never happened before, or at least in the past 100 years. And with violent uprisings happening left and right, you know, guys, you don't know what's going to happen in the next 5 years. So being prepared, especially if you have your family with you, is the best thing to do, being ready for whatever faces you. If you don't need it, great. But if you do, you got it. Guys, if you're serious about prepping and survival, check out Survival Dispatch Insider. It's one of the best resources on the web to get you prepared. I upload one video a week exclusively to the Survival Dispatch Insider, and plus it brings together a whole community of some of the top names in the survival world. I'll have a link down below in the description. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. This is typically what I have in my vehicle. You know, to some it may be across state lines and different. Carry a little backup, have a Walther. Not a Walther. Of course, I have all the regular stuff in here. Of course, I have in the survival wilderness self-defense, and where you are ineligible to use. Well, there's the water, dude. Yeah, our water's gone.